Okay, now before we get too deep into discussing the individual protocols and their associated ports, let's just make sure we understand that TCP IP is an actual suite of protocols. Okay, it's made up of a number of individual protocols, one of which is IP, stands for Internet Protocol, and it is a connectionless protocol, meaning there is no stateful connection to that protocol itself. Okay, it is primarily responsible for the networking, the network addressing rather, okay, basically routing of packets between networks. The connection feature is handled by something else, and that is TCP, or Transmission Control Protocol. Okay, now as you might guess, that's a connection-oriented protocol, so it will establish the connection between endpoints and make sure or provide a guarantee that the packets are delivered. So in other words, TCP, when it sends out a packet of information, it expects in a very short period of time a response back or an acknowledgement or an ACK saying, yes, I got that packet of information. If it doesn't get an acknowledgement back in a certain period of time, it assumes that it did not reach its destination and it resends the packet. And then we have UDP, User Datagram Protocol, and that is a connectionless oriented protocol. Okay, no guarantee of delivery. That's best effort. All right, so I just want to make sure you understand the main components of TCP IP. We have TCP, the Transmission Control Protocol. IP is the networking or the addressing component of that. And then we can either use a connection-oriented, which is TCP obviously, or connectionless, which is UDP. Okay, now before we jump into the actual protocols and ports and so forth in any type of depth, I want to just make sure that we understand TCP is a connection-oriented protocol because of the TCP three-way handshake. All right, or this is the mechanism that creates that connection. All right, so the three-way handshake is what establishes the connection between two hosts by sending out a SYN or a synchronization packet, that data packet between the host and the server. The target server obviously has to have connections available. It takes that synchronization packet and sends back a SYN ACK or a synchronization acknowledgement. All right, sends that back to the originating host. That client then sends an acknowledgement saying, hey, I acknowledge your acknowledgement, basically. Once that happens, it establishes the connection. So if we look at this graphically, we see that the desktop PC wants to communicate with the server. It sends out the SYN packet, okay, SYN for synchronization. The server says, yes, I can accept the connection. It sends back a SYN ACK or a synchronization acknowledgement. The desktop PC says, all right, I basically acknowledge your acknowledgement, so let's go ahead and establish our connection, and now communication can take place.